Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 248 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Siobhan.
How we doing?
Fantastic. I kind of wanted a little coffee talk on that one.
A little coffee talk?
We're having some coffee talk. You didn't tweet me when Wario tweeted it yesterday. I didn't send it to you because I was like, he's going to say something.
Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, he tweeted Coffee Talk was on sale on Steam for like $9.
Oh, I totally missed it.
Because the last time it popped up, like 2 seconds later, you're like, hey, Kevin. Okay, we sound good. All right. If this is the first time you're seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week, two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. Go over to youtube.com. Did I already say that?
I don't think so.
youtube.com/2playercoop. Subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everybody in betwixt. That's what I meant to say. Like the video as well. If you're listening on audio services, that's cool too. Just give us a thumbs up, 5-star review, or whatever your audio service does. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop. Just like our affiliates, James Solar, Sarah Solar, John Tingley, and Nuke Dukem. Welcome to the family, son. As well as our producers, Steve Appleton, Aunt Sue, Vernon Slayton, and Dustin Downs. Thank you all so much, by the way. Again, it just blows us away. We are so blessed, honored, whatever you want to say, to have you guys pledge to support us on Patreon. It means the world. Yes. This is the biggest we've ever been on Patreon. It's not like we're Colin with 13,000 patrons or anything like that, but it just means the world that any of you would go on there to support us and everything. It just means so much to us, and I hope we say it enough, but thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It's awesome. Thank you.
So with the addition of Mr. John Tingley, we hit our $50 tier. Do we have a $100 tier?
We don't, but we might need to actually think about it.
Yeah, let's...
My thing would probably be we just do... Well, I don't know. The thing you got to realize... I was going to say 2 episodes a week, but we have day jobs and stuff, but it's like... And also, it's just tough. Like, I just go to Colin to Sacred Symbols, comma, and Sacred Symbols Plus, 2 episodes of that a week. But I mean, that's what he does for a job. We both have jobs, real day jobs. Obviously, we don't live off of this channel. But we might want to throw something out there as well. Yeah. So we'll think about that.
Yeah, we'll get something on the board.
We'll think about that. If you like merch, cool t-shirts and all the like, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2playercoop. I noticed when I went back and watched the Colin video, I did the Patreon thing, and then you did this for Teespring, and nothing popped up. And I was like, well, I guess I forgot that.
I didn't even notice.
I mean, we're selling so many thousands of shirts over there. But yeah, so check out our interview if you haven't already that we did with Colin Moriarty. He was nice enough to come on last week for the second time, sit down with us. The first time we mostly just talked about, I almost said Trigger Witch, Habroxia 2, making that, writing it, and everything. This time, and I saw some of the comments and stuff about internet drama. Really, I kind of wanted to vent about what happened to us a couple months ago and the idiocracy around us here in Memphis.
And to be fair, we chatted with Colin for a bit before the recording started. He was fine with it. So
yeah,
we appreciate the comments, the concern, but we ran it by him.
Yeah, we weren't trying to bring anything up. We weren't trying to have any gotchas. It was more just trying to, like, somebody like Colin who has to deal with insanity on social media essentially every day. I just kind of wanted to talk to him about it. We had stuff that we also talked to him about off the air that we didn't want to talk about on the air, a video we did 4 years ago. So we just kind of wanted to talk about that and everything. Still, like I told him, my favorite title of any video we've ever done.
I just saw something on here that is giving me very much a... What?
I know. I wasn't even going to put it on there, but if I didn't put it on there, I would forget. So we'll wait until we get there. Speaking of the Phantom Pain. Also, this kind of snuck up on us, but like I said, this is episode 248. That means 250 is coming up real soon, in 2 weeks, maybe 3, depending on schedules and stuff. We'll probably 2 weeks. It should be 2 weeks. I don't think we're going to miss a week. Trying to figure out what we want to do. we're going to live stream it for everybody. So patrons, when we get to these special episodes, these milestone episodes, we try to, like we did our 5-year anniversary live for everybody last year. We did episode 200 live for everybody last year. I know you're saying 5 years. What the heck? We kind of took most of a year off from podcasting, and then we missed it, and we came back. We were just doing YouTube videos and stuff, and then we came back. So that's why it doesn't add up to the years. But we're going to do something. We're nailing down what we want to do now, but we are going to live stream it for everybody. We would like to do it from a special location, but I don't know if that's possible. It's nothing that's not really special. A big deal. It would just be nice for us to go.
To some of you newcomers,
yeah. But for the old people, not the old people, we're the old people here.
Yeah.
But for those of you that have been following us for a while, it'll be good. James, I can't put you in because I can't stream it. I don't know how to do Discord and all that crap. I can't. But we've got something planned. Hopefully, if nothing else, we're going to live stream it. Worst case scenario, we just do it here from the pool house. From the Playroom recording studios. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that. More details. We'll get everything finalized, and next week we will have it all nailed down. But just look for a live stream 2 weekends from now, I would say. What else? I think this is the last time I want to talk about this until we have something to talk about. I don't want to do any more conspiracy theories.
I'm with you.
I don't want to do any more of this, but the Blue Box app, it was supposed to go live the day we recorded with Colin. And they said, we're having technical difficulties. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. Finally, Friday, they got it fixed. They fixed it with a 5 gig update. 5 gigs. Everybody complains about their PS5 hard drive size. These guys took up 5 gigs for this update. And you know what it was? It was the 4-second teaser video that they put out on Twitter. Then it ended by saying, one thing is new. They said there's a playable prologue coming soon. But then this article went up today on no, that's Hades. Hold on. This is from PSU.com, PlayStation Universe, but they got it from a site called NME. And the title is Abandoned creator and Blue Box studio head Hassan Karaman says Abandoned is, quote, not what people think. Rumors debunked. The article reads as such. After the debacle that was the patch release for the Abandoned real-time experience app, despite the fact that they did eventually release the update, it didn't answer the one question people were hoping that it would. What is this game? We now have some kind of an answer, it seems, thanks to Hassan Karaman himself. In an interview with website NME, Karaman, creator of the game and head of Blue Box Studios, finally gave up details about what the game is, its plot, how it plays, everything they needed to finally be able to debunk every rumor out there. It's not Silent Hill, it's not Metal Gear. It's its own unique story and game. Karaman also admitted that there have been mistakes made on their end in regards to the photo of the man with the eye patch, everything that happened with the real-time experience app, including why it was delayed and the reasoning behind it. Quote, basically, we had to cut out some footage from the opening teaser, and I knew that it wasn't a good idea to use the same footage that we had on Twitter and put it in there, because it's literally just 4 seconds of footage and it doesn't give much. But we needed to do this because people wanted to have a patch, right? End quote. Karaman later went on to say that the state of Blue Box Studios' image online hurts him, as he doesn't want to be labeled a scammer, and the whole rumor mill around the studio and the game hasn't been helping. I saw Zach Ryan, who used to be at IGN, I think he's at Ubisoft now, I forget, saying that he kind of feels bad. It's a waste, like John says in the chat. I don't feel bad for these guys at all.
No.
They're Blue Box Game Studios, not someone else. The Blue Box Game Studios account tweeted out, guess the name of Abandoned. Starts with an S, ends with an L. Okay, that's what started all this insanity. They have a PS5 app. They post an image with blurred out words that clearly say, welcome to Silent Hill, and a picture of a snake, a human snake, with an eye patch. And then they switched the font for Abandoned to be the same font as Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3. I don't feel bad for these guys at all. I will say, though, I'm not giving up. That it's not Metal Gear. I started thinking, like we talked about offline, and I saw it in a Young Yeah video. Some people were theorizing Blue Box Game Studios is actually it's a pseudonym. I don't even know if that's the right word.
Fake name.
fake name for
pseudonym.
for Blue Point Games, and that this was all going to end up with the Blue Point acquisition that we all know is coming from Sony, and they're doing Silent Hill or they're doing Metal Gear or something else. These guys have a PS5 app. Someone else pointed out that where you select your language looks identical. Everything's identical to The Last of Us Part 2.
Didn't Colin say that?
I think it was Colin, yeah. But, I mean, he heard it from someone else. I don't know who was the originator, none greater. But I don't care what he says because this is clearly Silent Hill. And at this point, I'm sick of it. I do have another theory, though, and I haven't heard this one yet. I'm sure I'm not the only one to come up with this. We know someone has partnered with Konami. That's public. We don't know what the game is yet, but we know they have partnered with them. What is the name of that studio? Bloober. Hello, Bloober, Blue Box. Are we serious? I think this is Bloober. Bloober Team. That's the name. Bloober Team. We know they make horror games. We know they partner with Konami. We know they're making a Silent Hill without knowing for sure. I think now I'm starting to think that this is actually Bloober Team. And this is a studio that doesn't make very good games. They are either kind of good or really bad. And everything's like 60 to 70 on Metacritic. Some people really love it. Most people hate it, or, vice versa. Like, this seems like something that studio would do. I think this is actually Bloober Team that is behind this blue box stuff. It's Silent Hill. That is a character from... Everybody's pointed out, I haven't played Silent Hill. That's Silent Hill 2. That's everything the dude in Silent Hill 2 wears. It's Silent Hill, and at this point, I'm sick of it. This is until this app... Playable prologues coming, sure. Real trailers coming, sure. Blah, 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 blah. When that stuff happens, we'll cover it. But I'm saying now, let's get this out. Let's say what we need to say. I'm done talking about this. I do not feel bad for these guys at all. If they are not making Silent Hill, they should just fold up right now because that thing's not going to sell 10,000 copies.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I don't feel sorry for them. This is all very calculated.
Poorly.
Probably. I mean, but they know exactly what they're doing. I'm kind of with you in a way, and I don't mean this. I'm kind of getting Death Stranding vibes. In that with Death Stranding, back when we didn't know anything about it, I checked out. I completely lost interest. I'm like,
then the game came out and you didn't care
anymore. Yeah, and I don't know. I wonder how much of that was just...
But at least we were actually seeing trailers. Now everybody was theorizing it was Metal Gear Zero, and it was actually Silent Hills, and he was still working with Konami, and it was Root. Right, so there was that, but at least we were seeing the game.
But even that, by the time we got gameplay footage, I was just like, okay, I'll check it out. But I'm just so sick of it, and that's kind of how I am here. And I definitely feel. I know there's been some. Whatever, people from the beginning just saying, oh, you're stupid, there's nothing to this, I don't know why everybody's blah, blah, blah. Okay, you may be right, whatever, but I feel that there's a shift happening. There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne, and I feel like they're gonna see it and they're gonna feel it and they're gonna be like, okay, people are starting to really get annoyed, we need to poop or get off the pot. So I think something is going to come out real quick, and we'll finally have some answers. Because I feel like a lot of people are where we're at now, and they're just like, I'm sick of hearing about it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm to the point now where I don't even want to play this freaking game. Even if it is Silent Hills.
I hope it's Silent Hills, but I also, until we know what it is, I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of reading about it. I'm sick of thinking about it. I don't care anymore.
James is going down with the ship because he says he doesn't think there's even a game. I do think there's a game. However, we had a comment on our video with Colin that was about a book long. Did you see that? About a guy who knows about ARG marketing and all that. I don't even know what that even means. Do you know what it means?
No.
Somebody in the chat hit me with what ARG marketing means. But anyways, he was saying and they didn't even... it was the day before that they renamed it Real-Time Experience. And I wanted to comment and be like, actually, but I don't care enough to comment. That's not true. They renamed the app 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was just supposed to go live last week. So you were wrong there. I do think, not you, James, but whoever commented, the guy that watched our Colin video. I do think there is a game here. At this point, I don't even know what he said. It was a mistake to post the image of the guy with an eye patch. Well, then why the hell did you post it? Nothing... nothing about this adds up. There is something more to this than meets the eye, but at this point, I am so sick of it. I am done. The fact, like, I was getting ready to go. I'd worked all day. I shower in the afternoon because I work from home. It's 3 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock. Supposed to go live. I'm like, okay, go down here. And I open it up, check back soon, okay? And then finally, I'm like, this is stupid, okay? And I go, and I get the Twitter alert that, okay, the app's updated now. You can download it. It should be in a few minutes. So I go up there and I download it. I'm like, okay, cool. It's finally like, man, I don't want to check Twitter, but let me just check Twitter. And I see a tweet from Colin that says, it's literally the Twitter teaser video. And I'm like, okay, TV off. I'm going to go shower. I'm going to go. It's the weekend. I'm done. I am done. And when it's finally done, I checked out for myself. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Sarah knows what ARG marketing is, but I don't understand. Well, join the club, James, because I don't either. So that's it. I'm not going to talk Blue Box anymore. I'm done. When they put out a new trailer or when there's something concrete, we'll talk about it. But at this point, they've just pissed me off so much that I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't think it's Blue Point. It's not Kojima. This ain't, there is no, that ship has sailed. This ain't Kojima. He would not bungle this like this.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No, I agree.
Last thing before we get into everything. We just keep breaking records. We don't. But people like old sealed video games. And this past week, a sealed copy of Super Mario Brothers on the NES sold for $2 million. A month ago or so, we said one sold for $560,000, I think. And then a sealed copy of Legend of Zelda sold for like $1.5 million. And now we've got a copy of Mario that sold for $2 million.
Can we just get like, I don't know, 100, maybe like a 1,000. Can we just get a lot of people just go in and just buy this for like $3 million? They keep going up. We could buy it for $3 million. It'll sell for $5 million in like a few years. Like, I mean, that's insane. They're
got an
keep going
SBA
up.
loan or something.
Yeah.
It's just insane. I just had to bring it up because I
Except
can't fathom.
We would buy it. We would keep it here, and then Barkley
Dad
would
throw,
eat it.
Or yeah, I was going to say Mom and Dad would throw it out, like they did all our games. So I just had to bring it up. It just boggles my mind. I don't know why anybody would pay that much for anything. That's when you just have FU money that you don't care, and you're like, I'll spend $2 million on Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
you can. It's just insane. You can play it on Switch Online for $20 a year. All right, Sean. Did you play anything other than the two main games this week? Well, you only.
I didn't play
one of them,
anything
but-
besides the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before I get to one of the new games I played, I did go back to this. I guess this is what you were
Yes.
confused about. So I was bored last week waiting for. I didn't know Axiom Verge 2 was going to come out, but I was like, I don't want to play anything. I'm done with Returnal. I'm done with Trigger Witch. Hades is out, on the 13th. Whatever. You know what? I'm going to fire up Metal Gear Solid 5, and I did. And the PS Plus cloud save worked. I picked right back up where I was in Mission 12, which is where you got to go get Huey out of the base with the walker gear, and then the Sahelanthropus.
I hated that.
When I did it the first time when I played through the game, I hid from that Sahelanthropus like nothing. It was easy. This time, that dude found me like 5 times. I'm running around with Huey on my back, so I'm all slow and everything. Finally figured out how to hide from him. I got in there and I went. And then I did another mission. I was just like, it wouldn't be a podcast without Barkley barking. And I was like, I can't. I loved this game at a place and time in my life. It was my most anticipated game of all time. I'm just going to act like the dog isn't barking. If I talk over him, maybe you can't hear Barkley barking. Barkley barkling. You probably can. Somebody shut that effing dog up. He doesn't bark all day. And now I podcast, and he's like, it's time for me to bark. That's what he does. Stupid dog. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that the cloud save works as well. But I went back, and I was like, first off, I had to relearn the controls. It's not like Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2 or 3. But I had to relearn the controls, and I think I can't even remember now. I think X kneels down and square dives or something. It wasn't too intuitive, but I was playing through it, and I was like, I'm glad I went back and played it a little bit, but I'm okay leaving it in the past now.
See, I feel like that about a lot of games. Like, I'm not really there with some Zelda games, I guess, but not. Like, Ocarina and Link to the Past are probably still my number 1, number 2 games. Final Fantasy VII is up there. I don't know what else is, but there's definitely some games where I feel like that. And I'm not talking like all-time greats, but like Returnal. God bless you, James. Diving right
shout
back
out
in.
to you, James.
I don't know. I'll probably never play that game again.
Yeah.
Now, that is the type of game that if there ever were some like DLC, I might check it out, maybe.
You say that, but you wouldn't. You never do DLC.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of like Resident Evil 7. But I knew I wasn't done with that. I'm like, this is a game I will probably just pick up and play every so often for as long as I'm playing.
It's 10 hours to beat.
Just
It's not 50 to 60 like
it.
Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
But yeah, Metal Gear, I don't think I'll ever go back unless there's a new, re-release or whatever of something. I don't see myself ever playing Metal Gear again.
And I only had a PS4 base, so I never played it on a Pro. It didn't look any different to me. I think it ran at 60 frames on the PS4. It ran at 50. It looks like 60 frames on the PS5. It looked great on my big TV, but I'm just like, it's fun, but like that game is so long, and it's like after that mission, the next mission is one of those filler missions that wasn't written by Kojima. You got to go to Africa, and you got to. I think that's the one where you break the kids out in the caves or something. But I played it a little bit, and I was like, man, if I go in at nighttime, I've been going in at nighttime so much that everybody's got helmets on because I headshot them, and they've got night vision goggles. So it's like, and then if I'm doing it in the daytime, everybody can see me. I'm like, I just don't want to play this right now.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Metal Gear Solid 5, I still love you, but I don't know that I'll ever play you again. But I did play 2 new games that came out last week. The first one I'll talk about because Sean has not played it yet. And that would be Axiom Verge 2. I played it for about 4 hours or so, I think. Unfortunately, it's not that I dislike the game. I'm not sold on it.
Really?
And I don't know why I was so hyped for this game, because Axiom Verge, the first, like, I liked it, but by the end I was just like, this is dragging on too long. I want to just be done with this. That game was obtuse, but by the time I played it like 2 years after it came out, there were guides everywhere. This is what if you're stuck here, do this, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Axiom Verge 2 just came out. Like, Shadow dropped, it's out. So there's no guides, there's nothing. This game is very obtuse. Now, you do get a power-up that's this little compass thing. It's a little circle that goes in the bottom left of your screen. It's like a Cheerio. It's like a blue Cheerio, okay? But what it does, it'll kind of glow on one side to show you where you should go. And I think there's like purple is like an optional thing. And then I can't remember what the other color is, but I think it's like bright green or something. I just can't remember. That's like your objective. Now, if you do go to the map, you can see the map and all the rectangles and everything, and you can see like your objectives down here where you haven't been yet, of course.
Right.
But you don't know how to get there. One cool thing I will say about the map, it's not just blocks. It's the blocks, but then it shows you the terrain. So you can see the snow area or the forest area or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So you can kind of remember, oh, that was there. I remember there. And you can mark the map if you forget something. You can only mark it with one kind of like a yellow circle or something. The biggest difference is the first game was more of a Super Metroidvania. Guns. This one is more of a Symphony of the Night Metroidvania with melee combat, which is fine in Symphony, in Bloodstained, in Hollow Knight, in whatever, like the Messenger,
Time
Chasm.
Spinners.
Time Spinner.
Yeah.
I always get Time Splitters and Time Killers confused. Time Killers was the fighting game where you could chainsaw
cut arms off and stuff. Yeah.
Really bad game. It was just blood, so that's why people played it. God, I just remembered another fighting game from back then that was weird. It's not important. I can't remember the name. Kraken. It's not Kraken. Anyways.
Tekken.
So you start out, your weapon is... No, it was like a 16-bit side... Here we go. Okay. FX Fighter. You start out with an ice pick is your weapon.
Literally an ice pick?
Yeah. And your ice pick, your range is like...
Is it like the Basilard?
No, you swipe it.
Okay.
But you swipe it not even a whole character length in front of you. Yeah, it's like... Early on, you can see another ice pick that's like bronze, but you can't get to it yet. You need to get a power-up that'll blow up walls so you can go in there and get it. Okay, cool. combat,
is that somehow relevant to the story? Is there a reason you're fighting with an ice pick?
you start like in the Himalaya, not the Himalaya. You start like in Antarctica or something.
Okay.
So you find an ice pick, and then you can. At first, you can't. I haven't got a dumble jump yet or anything, but you couldn't even jump and grab on dumble jump.
Dumbledore.
You can't jump and like grab onto a ledge or anything.
Yeah,
you get a power up for that. Then you get a power up where you can just go wall to wall to wall to wall. It's a Metroidvania and everything. It's the combat that's just not doing it for me. Even when I got the upgraded pickaxe, which does have a little bit.
I just saw somebody, I don't even know who, but like somebody I just saw tweeted like, man, I don't know about this combat in Axiom Verge. I'm like, well, crap.
Yeah, it's not bad, and the problem is that just like everybody complains about the first Zelda and everything, that it's obtuse. This game's obtuse. Like, yeah, it'll put on the map where you have to go, but that's it. And you've got this stupid compass thing, but the thing I was telling you about the compass, it doesn't work that well. Like, it's not great. And then you've got your little your drone, spider drone thing that you can throw out to go in areas that you can't get to and all this. You got different power-ups you can get to like turn machines on. Your little drone can get a grappling hook. Eventually the grappling hook lets you charge up and then spin, so you can spin through walls to break through them when you're the drone, stuff like this. And then the drones sometimes can go. Remember that when they put out the video about the breach?
Mm-hmm.
So the breach is you go from like 8 or 16-bit world, kind of what we want Shovel Knight to do. You go from like, well, it's kind of like what the Messenger did, but even more drastic. You go from like the 16-bit world, you get these pillars that have this red flame thing, and you can only go into it with the spider, with the little drone thing. Drone goes over there, you push up, and you go into the breach. You're then in like a Game Boy Color world.
So it's the opposite of what I want.
Yeah, with giant, everything's big. It's like a Game Boy Color game zoomed in. It's kind of cool that they do it, but it's another way to get around the world. So basically you'll go into the breach, you go through this other world and everything, then you exit. Usually where you exit, there's like a switch you had to hit for your person to open up a gate or something, and then you switch back to the person and all that, and you go from there.
So you said it, and whoever said it on Twitter that I can't find again said you don't like the combat. Is it something about the gameplay, or is it just the fact that you're fighting with a pickaxe or an ice pick or whatever that has like no range? Like, is it just that?
So
or there's
you
something
do
about
also
like
get
the way it like feels?
It doesn't feel good. You also do get a boomerang though. So
but like if you had a sword, if you had a longer weapon, would that solve it? Or even then, there's still just
it still doesn't
off?
feel good because it's like, because now, so the first game, remember, there were no hills. They made a big deal out of this. They put hills in Axiom Verge 2.
Okay.
So it's not just like blocks and everything. But you guys are laughing about something. I'll check it in the chat after I'm done saying this. Because of that, like enemies will like be going up you, like you'll be up here on a flat piece of ground, and then the robot. Oh, it reminds me of Metroid Dread also, because the robots all have like their radar going, and if they see you, they go yellow, and then you see the meter go up. Once it's red, they're chasing you. I was like, who stole it from who? Yeah. Well, also that. But like you're here, and there's a robot. There's this little rinky-dink little robot, and he's like, meow, meow. So he gets like here, and I feel like I should be able to slash down and get him. You can't. You can duck and slash, but you can't slash at an angle. So then I'm just, and then he'll like go, brow, and he'll jump over me. By the time I turn around, he's giving me a shock attack and everything, and then I duck and I hit him a couple times. You can adjust not the difficulty, but you can adjust how much damage you take, how much damage you give to play with it and everything. But even doing that, I'm like, it just doesn't feel good. And the robots, also remember how they made a big deal about how the bosses are optional? I've beaten 2 bosses so far.
Like all of them are optional?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. Like that's their accessibility thing. The enemies for the most part are optional too. Like, remember, we joked about when I talked about this, like, why even have enemies then? Why don't you just walk through the world and find the items and go to the end? You can do that in this. The enemies, you don't level up anything. Now, if you're low on health, sometimes you'll kill an enemy and you'll get health
say that
back.
about a lot of games.
Right.
You don't
But
level
it's
up
just,
in Metroid.
I think I just notice it because they're like, well, if the bosses are too hard, just skip them. I fought 2 bosses. One of them was a standard boss fight. I died the first time. I beat it the second time. And then I realized, oh, yeah, I could have just gone under him and jumped up this and done that. But I'm like, I'm not going to skip a boss. There's another boss that's in an underworld area that I would hit him, nothing happened. I'm like, well, I can't fight this guy now. Okay. You get a power-up that I said explode stuff. There's stuff you can drop from the ceiling on him. Once I figured that out, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to kill you. And I killed him. I got a trophy. It's cool. But, like, it just doesn't feel right.
That's
It's not
disappointing.
it's not a bad game at all. And it would be like my annoyance would like get ratcheted up because I'd get to where the point I'm like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. This is just driving me freaking nuts. I don't know what to do. And then I would just stumble into another area of the map far away from where I was and be like, oh, okay, all right. So that's what I was supposed to do. I don't know how I was supposed to know that. Okay. I know Metroid games are kind of like that and stuff, but at least like,
So do you think it should just be like you have your objective on the map?
mm-hmm.
Should it just be? Because to me that sounds like a pretty typical Metroidvania. Are you just saying there should be maybe closer objectives? Like, don't just say, well, you got to figure out how to get to there. Be like, well, you go to here, and then you can go to here, and then you can get to there. As opposed to just saying, well, you got to figure out how to get over there.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
not
is
saying
that
it should
kind of
be
the-
like, and it shouldn't be like Metroid Fusion, where it's just
Right.
like, this is what you need. Well, I haven't played it, but this is what I've heard. This is what you need to do to get to the next thing, which is here on your map, and here's the path you go, or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't need it to be that, but it's just so obtuse, and because you've got the breach thing in there as well, it's just like, it gets frustrating. Then I get through something and I figure it out. Okay, it's better. I'm going to stick with it, but I mean, I've got another game to play now, which I'm adoring, I must say. So I don't really have a big pull to go back there. Again, it's not a bad game. It's like it sounds like I'm ragging on it. I do like the game, but there's a lot of things that are just sticking out to me that are annoying. And it's like a 6.5 to a 7 right now.
Okay.
I don't regret the purchase like I did with friggin' Skyward Sword. That's
What is
a
it,
1.
20?
$20. It's not that bad. I mean, and it's one guy making it. It's Tom Happ, for crying out loud, you know. But as I was getting frustrated, I flashed back to the first Metroid Dread, the first Axiom Verge, where I was just like, I'm sick of this. I want this to be over with, you know.
Did you ever beat it?
I did, and when I was done, I was
See,
like,
I beat it, and I don't remember anything about it.
yeah,
Like, that seems like a game, unless there's some weird beat it in 2 hours, beat it without dying on the hardest difficulty, that kind of crap. It seems like it would be a game to platinum. But I feel like I've looked
but
into
there
the
are
trophies.
speedrun things and stuff. Yeah. I remember
So-
something about the last boss, and it was multi-parts, and you went up something, and you had to hit something.
I don't remember anything about that game. I remember the weird face thing from like all the
Yeah.
images and stuff. I remember that, and I remember there's this part where there's like this, I don't know if it's like a boulder or like a platform or like a creature, but there's something that's like a horizontal elevator that like takes you across the map, and that's about all I remember about that game. But I don't know. I'm definitely gonna get the game. I don't know if you want to get caught up on chat. But
They're just John doesn't like Metal Gear. Splinter Cell spoiled stealth games for him. Can we get a new Splinter Cell? And James says he only played it because I yelled at him for like 4 years.
it's definitely a game I want to play, but I'm okay to just. Obviously, I'm playing something else right now, but I don't know. Even if this game takes me like a month, I'm guessing Axiom Verge is probably going to be the next game I play anyway, because I just don't know what else there is.
Yeah, Kenna is in September. That's the other. I'm going to get Madden just because I haven't gotten Madden in like 3 or 4 years. So I'm going to get Madden just because. But
So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a game I'm going to get just because I'll play just about any Metroidvania.
yeah. The other thing I will
but-
say though, not to give any spoilers away, I'm not going to spoil it, but the gameplay where I got to at about the 3.5 hour mark, I think I played it for about a half hour. The game completely changes. Something happens story wise, and I was like, "You're making me do
better or worse."
Not the better."
Oh, okay.
I could tell you, it's not that big a deal. You want me to tell you what it is off mic?
If it's just story related, okay. If it's like gameplay related, I'll wait and see.
Okay, then I won't tell you.
Okay.
Something happens about 3.5 hours in, depending on how long you play it. But yeah. But I got to that point. I was like, I don't like this that much. And it was like the day before Hades came out. So I was like, you know what? I'm good to just leave this for now.
Yeah.
Then Hades came out. And holy crap, this game's awesome. Late to the party. I know that. I didn't want to play it on Switch. I wanted to wait. I knew it was going to come to PlayStation eventually. Playing it on PS5, playing it with that DualSense is awesome. Oh, I did play with my headset for a little bit because Jess was just like,
Oh, I haven't tried it.
she was like, this rock music and everything. You got to, like, can you put your headset
Do
in?
you agree, in parts, does the music remind you of Chasm? I think it's just in Tartarus, but like,
Yes. Yeah. But also when you go and you visit Charon, ding ding.
Yeah, it's
ding, ding,
certain
that
Yeah.
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 But it also kind of made me think of Trigger Witch with the
Yep.
Hades is freaking awesome. I beat. By the way, I looked up because I didn't beat it today, but I finally completed a run.
You escaped.
I escaped after. I think it was like 35, 36 attempts, something like that. I think is what I got up to. 13 hours, I think is what I'm at. I've been playing the hell out of this game. Well, my PS Time Tractor says Time Tractor. I got to invent one of those.
There's another video game.
That's what we should call it. Time Tractor. They'll be like, what the hell is this? There's a little girl. But I don't think it's really 13 hours because there's a lot of pausing and stuff. And it's probably around 11 and a half, 12 hours is what I would guess is my real play time. I love this game. What do you think?
I like it a lot. I'm a little bummed. Don't take this the wrong way, but like I told you earlier, I think you're just better than me at this game. I like it a lot. I like it. I think I like it better than Returnal, if for no other reason than even when I have a crappy run, I feel like I've at least made some progress. Even if I get like 20 darkness, I'm like, okay, well, I can improve something in the mirror or whatever. Like, I always feel like I'm getting maybe not better me, but like,
but you
my
actually have
character
stuff
is
you
better.
actually can level up.
Right.
Whereas Returnal, it's like, no,
I just
start
feel like
over again
I
with
can't
nothing.
play this game. Like, I've beaten the second boss 3, maybe 4 times. Twice with like the fully auto bow and arrow.
When I beat it, I had the fully auto bow and arrow.
And maybe only 3 times. I've beaten him with the spear. I think that's it. I think I've only beaten him 3 times. Or maybe, no, 4 times. Twice with the fully auto bow and arrow, and then another time with the bow and arrow that it wasn't fully auto, but I had some kind of power up that was
James
how bad,
never
I don't know.
escaped on Switch.
But I feel like when I'm trying to play, like when I play with, this is going to work.
I didn't think it would work on my Wi-Fi.
I don't even know. Gosh, I don't know how to do this.
So you go here.
But where's like start?
It's there.
Oh, it's that.
Yeah.
Where's that?
What?
I'm trying to see.
Oh, one thing
I'm not in the middle of a good run anyway, so I don't care.
One thing I noticed, if you give up, I know because a couple times I was like, I was hoping to get a hammer to start.
It doesn't.
It doesn't change anything.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to see. I've had 39 attempts.
Oh wow.
So you've beaten. I mean, you've had fewer attempts and you've already beaten.
No, I might not be right on that. I just
yeah. I feel like when I get the bow and arrow and
That's
I
weird.
get the
Mine
fully
switched.
auto
Yours did.
thing, I feel like I'm playing Returnal with like, I don't even remember the guns
Hollow
now.
Seeker.
Yeah, the Hollow Seeker or the Carbine or whatever. If I do this and I get the bow and arrow or the spear or the bow and arrow without the fully automatic thing, I feel like I'm playing with like the shotgun or the pistol. Like,
Yeah.
I can do it, but it's not great. And if I play with any other weapon, I might as well be lobber. Not the globber.
Globber.
The lobber. Like, and I'm sure it's more my play style. I'm sure I'm not playing it correctly. Like, but I have trouble beating the first area with any other weapon. If I get Meg, I can usually beat her. If I get any of the other two, especially the one's not terrible. The other one is terrible. Yeah, that one sucks. The other one's not terrible, but I just don't think it's like I can't play this game unless I get that one weapon. That's the only time I feel like I can do anything.
It's the only way I can do it is with the auto bow. That's the only way I can do it. Like I'm okay with the spear. I haven't gone back to the sword because it's just not.
I don't like the gun. The gun's terrible.
I tried
reloading
it once and I
takes
was
too
like,
long.
No. Now there is an auto shot for that.
Yeah,
too.
but
even with it, I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah, I thought the shield would be okay because even when I do the spear, I do the special a lot. So he just throws it and it goes out and comes back, which is nice.
Yeah,
that's why I thought the shield would be good, but like it just seems like it's always super weak. The gloves and the sword.
I didn't like the gloves. I like the gloves that they're fast, but I'm like, I don't like to be right here.
I got one power up with the gloves where they go like way further.
Oh,
and that was nice. But at the same time, I'm like, I'd still rather just be able to play with the bow or the spear and be even further away. Like, so I don't know. I'm definitely struggling with it. I like this game a lot. It's not gotten to the point where I'm like frustrated and ready to quit by any means. Like but I say this now. I'm bound and determined to platinum this game. Now I haven't even been able to beat it.
Crap.
So we'll see. I mean, it may not happen, but like, I like it enough to want to get the platinum.
Yeah, I don't
But
feel like
it's frustrating.
Yeah. See, I'm nowhere near as I feel like when I die on a run in this, I'm just like, well, there was a few times when I got, especially that third boss, because I died at him like 4 times or something, where I would just die with like, I had him down to 15% or something, and I'm like, dodging all these. I'm like, dodge, and then he would get me, and I was just, ah!
See, I feel like if I can kill the bull, I can kill him.
It's all about
almost
dashing
without getting hit.
It's
like,
all about.
I just got to get the bull.
Yeah.
If I can kill the bull, I can just basically run around the outside, wait for the little pink target thing on my head, make sure I dash.
Yeah.
All the little
they're
stuff
not bad,
only happens
yeah.
in the middle. So if you stay to the outside, you're fine. Like,
see, with him, I am aggressive as hell. I'm going up to him. The first time I beat him, actually, I guess I only beat him once. Did I beat him once? Yeah, I only beat him once because that's the time
I've
I
only
did the
beaten him
run.
once. Yeah.
I was super aggressive, but I had my arrows were doing lightning damage or something. I had the lightning attack when I dash, and I had leveled that up 3 or 4 times or something. So I would just like, because he's got the stupid shield, and I would dash behind him, and I'd backstab him and go, brrr, and then I'd dash again, brrr, and I just kept.
Do you use the cast at all?
Never.
See, I was reading online like tips and tricks because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but they said one of the things that's called.
James says neither of us will get the platinum. I don't think I will.
It's called like blood. What's it called? I don't remember what it's called, but one of the things you can do in the mirror makes it so you do way more damage to enemies that have, the crystal, like you cast on them, and you do way more damage. And they're like, this really helped. Like, don't ignore that. Like, if there's a tough enemy or like an enemy with like armor, cast them.
I
get
just
that
finally
thing powered up, and you'll wreck them as long as they've still got the crystal on them or whatever. So I'm like,
how do you power it up? What do you mean?
In the mirror, it's one of the things.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the mirror. I was thinking of the crystal enemies. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the crystal, like when you cast.
Yeah.
And if you hit an enemy with it, they basically have your blood crystal or whatever it's called until you kill them
and get it
I guess
back.
they can get it back. Yeah. But it's like on them. So any enemies that have that crystal on them because you hit them with your cast, then all your other attacks of them do like way more damage while they have it.
I didn't even know what it did.
But see, even when I'm just like, there's too much other crap to worry about.
Yeah.
It's like the furthest thing from my mind usually. But I don't know. I feel like I'm either just bad at this game or I'm just doing I'm just playing wrong or something. But I like it a lot. It is the definition of addictive. Anytime I die, I'm like, and he even says it. I'm like, well, time to go die again.
Yeah.
I'm like, my man. But like,
one more run.
I get frustrated, but then I'm right back in. Returnal, when I get frustrated, I'm like trying not to throw my controller. I'm just like, I'm done. This game, I may very well get to that point, but right now I'm like, this game's a lot of fun, even though I keep dying.
Yeah, I think this is miles better than Returnal. Again, I'm just probably because
I think this is the
at
better. I think Returnal was maybe trying to do too much.
Yeah.
I think a 2D overhead kind of like, even though I didn't particularly care for it, like Enter the Gungeon. I think these type of games work better in that style, more so than Returnal.
And these are the first 2 roguelites or roguelikes, whatever they are called, because they mean different things, which I can't even understand. The first 2 I've ever played. And I feel like this definitely lends itself better. Like when we were texting back and forth the first day it came out, and I was just like, this just feels better. This just feels like it makes more sense. It just makes more sense to me to play this kind of game in this style. And I love it. Like I love the music. I love the art. The story makes sense. Whenever I was like, because Returnal, I was like, I keep dying. I'm not finding out anything. I don't know what the hell Celine's doing. I don't know what the house is. I don't know none of this. Apparently, you don't get any of that until you like beat the game or get super far into it, which I will never see. Yeah. I should just go back and listen to Colin's Spoilercast at this point because I'm never going to beat it. But this every time you die, like this makes sense. The whole like I'm like, why do roguelikes don't make sense if there's a story or in it? If there's no story, then whatever. But the story makes sense because every time it's like you are actually just trying to escape, and you're the prince of what's his face of Hades, or what, you're the son of Hades. So you keep getting sent back to the underworld and everything, and you're trying to get out. And well, I won't say spoiler. You're trying to get out and do a thing and meet somebody, and it makes sense. And every time you get back, it's like, he's like, how'd it go that time? And then you're talking to Achilles, and he tells you something, and then Nyx is over here, and sometimes Meg shows up and all this, and it's like they're flushing out this world, and I want to talk to all these people and
Have
read.
you met Thanatos? Or
Yes.
Thanatos?
When that happened the first time, I was like, oh,
I know. I was like, oh, God.
I have
what
to
is this
fight
gonna
death.
be?
And then I was like, oh, he's on my side. I've outscored him every time.
I've only seen it once, and I think there's a trophy for it. And I don't remember how many. I
I've
almost
done
want to
it
say 15.
2 or 3 times.
I think you have to beat him by like 15. The one time I did it, I beat him by like 11. I'm like, well,
Okay.
crap. I was really hoping to
The first time I did it was the most I beat him by. Yeah.
Really?
The other thing, once you clear a run, I just start over a little bit because I was on my lunch break this morning, and I cleared. I was like, okay, whatever. Some stuff changes, which I won't tell you. I want you to experience it. When you go, like when you're talking to Skelly, and stuff, and then you go to your thing, it's like, oh, that's different. But then you get in there, and in Tartarus, there's new enemies. I was like, oh, now this is.
I
even making me
randomly
wanna
got a
come
new
back.
enemy.
Really?
The ringers, the hands.
Really? I never saw that until I cleared it.
I'm trying to. Maybe they showed up just when I got to the final, because I have not beaten it, but they did show up, and maybe it was my first run after getting that far. But I don't think I've seen any new enemies anywhere else. But they like randomly showed up. I'm like, what? Why are these things here all of a sudden? But
It reminded me of Zelda, of course.
yes, the Wall Masters.
I mean, I was like, when he grabbed me the first time, I was like, oh my God, if you take me back to the beginning, I swear. But yeah, my runs are there's been a couple times when I was doing a run and I get to that one, the mini boss in the first area, which is the giant crystal guy with
I
all
hate
the other
that thing.
crystals.
There's certain weapons that
If
like,
I haven't gotten there with the auto bow, I'm like, I don't want to give up because it's just going to start this whole thing again. I just put my controller down. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get a drink of water. Just
I
kill
wish
me.
you could die quicker.
Yeah.
There's so many times where
When I've got
I have
3
a
death
bad run
defiance now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have a bad run and I'll make it through the first world, and I just go run into the lava and just die because that's the quickest way to die.
Yeah.
Once I get, I'm like, I'm
Just
not even
stand
going.
there,
I'm
yeah.
not getting any further. I'm just going to die. There's no quick way to die in the first area, and you can't just give up because you lose everything. Like they make you die in order to be able to save your progress. I'm like, I just want to give up. Like it's going to take so long
Yeah.
for me to die. Like
Yeah.
that's one thing.
But that's
I wish
why
you
I
could
just
change. But
I just go to a boss. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get a drink or I'm going to go pee or something. Come back, I'll be dead.
yeah.
James says he only did have about he checked on Switch. He had 25 attempts in about 5 hours. So you got to get good, man. That's what you all told me about Returnal, and I couldn't do it. I really, really like this game, and now that I've cleared it once, I did look up online because you can't. I didn't beat the game. I cleared it. I made one clear.
Yeah.
There's different bonuses you can get now with doing different things in your run. You can clear it with every weapon that gives you whatever. But it seems like when I was reading online, you have to clear it about 10 times to get the full story. Now, I don't know if you ever actually, quote unquote, roll credits in this game or not.
Yeah.
But to get the full story of what happens after, you beat Hades. Obviously, Hades is the last boss. You got to do it like 10 times. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to see it through to that because I'm sure there's a trophy for that. So if there is, I don't know that I am.
There's
ever
a
gonna get
trophy
the
that basically says complete the story, which is
Okay.
probably that.
But
But in theory, could you beat it just with the bow and arrow every time? Or they're like, no, we're going to make you beat it. I know you get different.
no, you can, yeah.
Okay.
But if you do it with different weapons, or if you can choose different things when you start a run in the quote unquote post game, that you can get other bonuses and stuff like that. So there's so much replay value in this game. But yeah, I could just take a bow every time, hope I find the hammer, hope I get the hammer that gives the auto shot, and then level up my hearts and level up all this because I've got 3 death defiance now. Like, and you can't get any more than 3. It's like, dang.
You can use the tooth.
The tooth.
I think it's what you get from Skelly if you give him the nectar.
Mm-hmm.
What his keepsake is like something tooth, and it basically gives you an extra death defiance.
I think I already did. I do that? I gave him something, but the keepsake I always use is the one that gives you 50 extra hearts, 50 extra HP.
That's what you get from the dog.
Yeah. I'm like,
Cerberus.
nope, I need all the health I
I
can
powered
get.
that all the way up, but now I just use Skelly's tooth
Really?
thing. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that it's.
And it depends.
I guess if you do the math, I'm not entirely sure which one is even better.
There's some runs where it's like almost every other room I can choose like the health upgrade. I'm like, I'm going for that every time, unless there's a hammer. Like I'm boom boom. There was
The hammer's the one thing that I pretty much never skip,
Yeah.
especially if I'm using the bone arrow.
I will never skip it. But then I tried it. Now I'm trying to be more mindful about all the coins I have, because sometimes you'll have a hammer show up at Karen's shop and you can buy it for 200.
200, yeah.
So if I'm buying something, I'm like, I'm never going under 200, because if I do, it's got to be really close. Because if I come across this and there's a hammer there, I'm buying it no matter what health I have or anything, because I need that upgrade.
Yeah.
Period. But I really like I said, beautiful game. Music's awesome. I'm loving the story. Combat's great. It controls really well. I did have one weird thing yesterday when I was playing it, that I had to just turn off my PS5 and restart it, because I noticed as I was playing, all of a sudden there was lag between my controller and what was happening on the TV.
Really?
It was like I would push left on the stick and he would like hesitate, and then he would go, or I'd attack, and I noticed this as I was in a room fighting everybody. I was like, what the hell is happening?
So the only issue I had one time, I was having a pretty good run, and it just, boop, your game has crashed. Do you want to send a report? I'm like, come on.
I haven't had any crashes.
I went back into the game, and they started me right in that same room.
Yeah.
So if you are ever in the middle of a good run and it crashes, just relax. It should put you right back to that room you got kicked out in. So that made me feel so much better.
I will say the interesting thing, and this is what made me, that we got emailed about getting codes for a small game that I don't know that we'll do a full review for it or whatever, but that's another roguelite, whatever. And now I'm like, this has now opened my eyes, because Returnal, I was like, I'll give it a chance. My eyes shut. I was like, I'm done with these stupid games. This sucks. Now I'm playing this and I'm like, okay, and this kind of stuff, and that's like a side scrolling, whatever. Like, now I kind of get it. I get why people like this. I did not get it when all I had played was Returnal, but playing Hades, I'm starting to get it.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I was on board starting with Returnal, but I definitely prefer more, 2D style.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not going to make it like my game of the year. It wouldn't be my game of the year so far. It's just so weird, because I do want to put it on there, because we're playing it this year.
Yeah, it counts.
Yeah.
It'll be top 5 for me anyway.
Oh, this game's really good. It deserves all the praise it got. It deserves all the Game of the Year awards, the 10 out of 10s, the 9.5s, the 9s, everything. Like, it completely deserves it. I love this game. I'm glad I'm finally playing it.
Yeah.
All right. About 50 minutes or so into the podcast. Sean, you want to get the news of the week?
Let's do it.
All right, Sean. This comes from Kotaku. Normally, I wouldn't read anything from that trash website, but they actually did something good here. So let's talk about this. Seems we may be getting a GTA Trilogy remaster. After months of rumors and speculation, Kotaku has learned from sources that Rockstar Games may be remastering 3 classic Grand Theft Auto games. Currently, it appears these games will be released later this... I haven't even been drinking. I can't talk and read. I don't know why I read all this stuff. For a multitude of platforms, including the portable Nintendo Switch. These are like 20-year-old games. I would hope the Switch could run them. For the past year, rumors have swirled on Twitter, Reddit, and various message boards that Rockstar is working on remakes or remasters of classics PS2-era Grand Theft Auto titles. These rumors only grew in popularity as Rockstar's parent company Take-Two used DMCA takedowns to remove classic GTA mods from the internet while announcing the publisher had 3 remastered games in development. While Kotaku can't confirm what all these teased remastered titles specifically are, we can confirm via corroborating details from 3 sources that GTA remasters are in the final stages of development. I looked away from the screen and I forgot what I was reading. Kotaku's reached out and they haven't said anything. According to these rumors, Rockstar is actively developing remastered versions of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. All 3 of these games are being remastered using Unreal Engine and will be a mix of, quote, new and old graphics. One source who claims to have seen a snippet of the games in action said that the visuals reminded them of a heavily modded version of a classic GTA title. The UI for the games are being updated too, but will retain the same classic style. No details were shared about gameplay, but Kotaku has been told these remastered titles are trying to stay true to the PS2-era GTA games as much as possible. We don't need to read through the rest. That was the one thing that was disappointing in this story. GTA 3 and maybe even San Andreas, I can't remember because it's been so long that I played it. You drove the car with like circle, not with R2.
Really?
I really hope that if they're doing this, they remaster the controls as well.
I would think they would. I would guess that I know they want to keep it, true to the old titles, but you've got the formula with GTA 5. Now I know there's a lot of stuff you can do in that game that you couldn't do in these. That's fine, but like you've got the blueprint. Just follow that.
So, in addition, it was announced this week that Grand Theft Auto 5 has now sold over 150 million copies. Nothing is ever going to come close to this. It's number 2 to Minecraft and Tetris. Tetris has sold like 700 million copies because it'll never come to, nothing will be that. But other parts I didn't read in the story, the PC and mobile ports may be, this is coming to mobile as well also, which is interesting. They may get pushed until 2022. All 3 games will reportedly be sold in one package as a digital release only. I don't know that I believe that. I feel like, maybe, who cares? And Red Dead Redemption may also be getting the original, you know what I mean. Red Dead Redemption 1 may be getting a remaster based on how the GTA Trilogy sells. So that tells me if they're going to do that, that's at least 2 years away. It's not like making a new Red Dead game. It's porting it and sprucing it up and everything, but it's got to be at least 2 years away if they're going to wait to see how these do. Spoiler alert, these games are going to sell like hotcakes. Would you buy this?
Almost certainly. I wonder if... I know it was very limited, but like I wonder if these will have any online stuff or if these are just going to be single player.
I would assume single player only.
But
GTA 4 had online, but it wasn't what GTA Online is now.
But so did any of these not have online?
No, because they were,
see, I thought they did. I just thought it wasn't I thought there wasn't much to it. But I would probably buy these. But again, I don't know. Like, GTA 5 is a lot of fun. But I never really got into the single player stuff. I've never beaten a GTA game.
Yeah.
I think I got further in 5 than any other ones, but I feel like I was still a ways away from the end. I kind of just treat them, I just play it more like, sandbox kind of game and just put in codes, get a bunch of money, and just go crazy. But I'm like, well, I can do that, but even better on GTA 5. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I would probably get it, but I'm not like super duper excited about it. But I don't know. It's cool that they're doing it.
Oh, and also VGC, Video Game Chronicle, has corroborated this as well. So it seems like this is definitely happening. My thing is, I've beaten 3 GTA games. I beat San Andreas, I beat 4, and I beat 5. I beat 5 twice. Once on PS3, once on PS4. And I'm probably going to beat it again on PS5. Oh, that's my other thing. Prediction, it might have been in the article. I can't remember. I don't think it was. No, it wasn't in the article. My prediction is when GTA 5 releases November 12th or whatever it is, for $70 on next gen, I assume. I don't think they're going to put it out for like 40 or 50. You'll be able to get but for 100 you get GTA 5 and this, or you can buy GTA 5 for 70 and these for 40 or 60 or whatever. I think there'll be a small discount if you buy some premium package to get GTA 5 and these together.
Maybe.
I think I want to get this again because I never beat 3 or I literally don't think I've played Vice City for 1 second.
I don't think I ever played San Andreas. I think I own GTA 3, but I bought it used at GameStop for $20 and it was the packaging was ripped. It was in rough shape, but I messed around with it. I never owned Vice City, but Jason did. I may have played that. No, I probably played 3 more, but I never played San Andreas. All I remember about Vice City is the stupid, and if you never played it, maybe you don't even know, but this motion blur stuff.
Oh,
and
I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
Ridiculous. And I eventually found out it's something you can just turn off, but I think it's on by default. It's the stupid. I don't know why anybody would ever play this game like that. But I remember my first thought when I saw it was that I don't want to play this game. This is unplayable with this crap. Before I realized you could turn it off, but I don't know. Could be fun.
My biggest thing, I don't know what new and old, a mix of new and old graphics means.
Yeah, why? I don't understand. Why,
I mean,
why
I
are
don't
there old
expect
graphics?
I don't expect it to look like GTA 5, but I expect it to look better than like Mario 64 on Switch.
Yes.
Somewhere in between I'd be happy with. But the biggest thing for me, again, and San Andreas, loved it the first time, went back to try and play it again, and I got so sick of how you got to feed CJ and you got to work out because you either get too fat or too skinny, and all. There was too much like Red Dead Redemption.
I think that's
2
why
in
I
there.
never played it. I'm like, this sounds terrible.
If they do some quality of life changes, if they fix the controls, I think I'm down for this. But it's not, and it's not like I would try to blow through them in a week. Like I can play it whenever I get a lull. Okay, let's go back. Let's try GTA Vice City for the first time. Get ready for 6. Hopefully it'll be there and whatever. But all right, next up we got some sales updates. The freaking Nintendo Switch. Now some of this might be old because we didn't do a regular podcast last week. We just did Colin. I think this is a little old, but get through it in here. I am becoming Larry David. I'm noticing that I am Larry David.
You're like a chameleon.
I am. I'm Gary Parrish, and then I'm Larry David. I know.
At first it was what are we doing?
The Switch has now sold somehow 89 million units.
Pretty
It is pretty
good.
pretty good. So it's now surpassed the Xbox 360 and the PS3. It's now the number 7 selling console of all time.
So I think what shocked me most about this is the fact that the PS3 outsold the 360. Because I did not think it did. I feel like you always hear, 360 won that round. PlayStation has outsold Xbox every generation.
Yes.
And I always thought this generation Xbox maybe didn't wipe the floor with PlayStation, but I thought it was like they beat him pretty handily.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
So
PS3 outsold it.
They came out a year early. PS3 launched at $600. Get a second job. And they had the cell processor. Once they got through that, though, you started getting, like, once you got to the point where Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, The Last of Us was at the end. I know that. But Metal Gear Solid 4, no matter what we think about it now, that was a huge deal. GTA, well, but that was on Xbox.
Oh,
GTA 4,
yeah,
GTA 5 at the end. God of War 3, like once the exclusives started hitting and they had lowered the price and got rid of backwards compatibility, shocking Sony would do that, and did the slim model and saved money and everything. It was like okay, how can I do this? They squeaked out a win by like 1 million or something.
Yeah, not by much.
Yeah. But yeah, that's everybody just thinks because the 360 was, it seemed like the console that generation. And it was for the first few years. Sony started picking up steam. All the good games started coming out. And yeah. The Switch in July was the top selling platform, both in terms of units and dollars sold. I think that's 31 months in a row or something insane that they've been the best in units, not dollars. Because last month, PS5 had dollars. Because they finally had some unit revenue.
Yeah.
And that was for the year so far. Sorry. PS5 is the top selling platform in July in terms of dollars sold. I can't get a PS5. You gotta put games on PS4. I can't get one. They've sold 10 million. They sold more than the PS4 did. Nobody, like Killzone Shadowfall. It didn't come out on I've made the argument a million times. Shocking no one. Black Ops Cold War is the top selling game so far of 2021. I did the 20. Shocking me, though, and probably a lot of people, MLB The Show 21 is the number 2 selling game this year. Amazing.
That's
not
crazy.
Counting Game Pass. That's sold.
Yeah.
That also kind of tells me it's kind of been a slow year for game sales.
Probably. Yeah.
But now, again, this is just in the U.S. Remember that. This is just in the U.S. NPD is in the U.S. because Resident Evil has sold 4.5 million copies worldwide. Big in Japan, big everywhere else. MLB The Show is big here. Like basically all 2 million or 3 million, whatever they sold now, those are probably 99% in the U.S. And some Japan. Japan loves their baseball and everything, but this is just looking at the U.S. But crazy sales numbers. Prediction, where do you think the Switch ends up? We got the SWOLED coming out. I think it's going to hit. It's not going to get up to like 150 50.
It
like
might.
PS2 did. It's not going to get that high.
It might.
But it also depends what they do when the Switch
How many
Pro
more
comes out
iterations come
before they
out,
move to the
like-
next thing. Right. That's true. If they milk it,
man, it'll get to 120, 130
it'll pass
easily.
PS4. It'll pass PS4, I would say, for sure.
Which was how many?
Yeah, we'll get to it in the wrap-up.
Oh, okay.
So good for you, Switch. I can't wait to play Metroid Dread. And the last item on the news list here. Yeah,
Found
that.
it.
We got some more details on the PSVR 2. At some point, Sony's going to have to start talking more about this because everything keeps leaking. This comes from VGC. In the tech site's latest Digital Foundry Direct Weekly video, technology editor Richard Ledbetter, makes me think of Pearl Jam. Yellow Ledbetter, okay. Seemingly references PSVR 2 details leaked in May before claiming to have seen even more impressive specs for Sony's upcoming headset. Quote, one thing I think that is kind of heartening is that Sony is doing PSVR 2 for the PlayStation 5, he said.
So, I've never heard the word heartening used. Usually everything's
you can only be
disheartening.
disheartened. Yeah.
But apparently you can be heartened.
We've seen some leaked specs, and it looks good. We've seen some other specs which haven't been leaked, which makes it look even better. So hopefully VR will be able to expand. There will be more choice in the headset arena, and also I'm quite looking forward to see what this new Sony controller is all about. According to multiple Upload VR sources, PSVR 2 will have a resolution of 4,000 by 2080 pixels, or 2,000 by 2040 in each eye. It will also include gaze tracking.
Wouldn't it be 2,000 by 2080 per eye? Why would that number...
It's all about the pixels, man. I don't know. Why do you multiply one and not the other?
Well, because you just got one here. The height stays the same.
It might have been a mistype in their article.
I'm guessing they're both supposed to be either 2080 or 2040, but yeah.
It will also include gaze tracking capable of foveated rendering, which is my new favorite term. Every time I read it, I'm like, I don't get it. A lens separation adjustment dial and a vibration motor allowing developers to provide direct haptic feedback, Sony has reportedly informed partners. Yeah, I don't know what else to say except I'm getting more and more excited about this thing. I'm just also getting more and more scared about the price.
I don't really care. I mean, I don't care what it costs.
Right. I know what you mean. Yeah.
I want this thing. I mean, if it's another 500, I mean, I don't think it'll be 500. I think it'll be 400. But like, this is day one for me.
We've already got the sunken cost. We've already paid for the PS5.
Yeah,
it's done.
I'm all in. I can't wait.
I just hope that, like I say every time we talk about this, I hope that the games are there. I hope they do something to partner with Valve and get freaking Half-Life Alyx on this damn thing.
Yeah.
That'll make it day one for me, just to play that game. Instead of buying like a $1,500 PC and then a $600 headset, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it's not top of the line, like it could be on a high-end PC with a Valve Index and all that. I don't care. Just do something. I don't know why Valve would care. Like, all they do is print money. Just let Sony have it.
Yep.
Now it's time for the wrap-up, Sean. Phil Spencer said in an interview this past week that they're not looking into doing Game Pass on any other consoles in the near future. A lot of people are hoping it'll come to PlayStation at some time or to Switch. Yeah, I don't think it will. And this kind of confirms that. At least not anytime soon.
Yeah, not. I think sometime, but not in the near future, no.
Again, if it's just like Colin always says, like, you don't have to put third-party games on there because that'll hurt Sony's pocketbook. If they just do some kind of modified Game Pass where you get Xbox first-party games, and maybe it's more expensive than it is on Xbox, whatever, and then I can play. But everybody just says that. Like, you then have to port every single game to the PS5 unless you're streaming it, which is probably what it would end up being. And I don't want to stream them. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I think gets lost in all this talk is like you'd have to port all these games to PS5 or 4. This was just announced today. Call of Duty Vanguard is officially the name that's been leaked like a million times of this year's Call of Duty, and it will be revealed August 19th. Hooray. Nintendo had a Nindies presentation this past week. I'm not going to go through everything, but a couple things that stuck out to me. Shovel Knight, Pocket Dungeon. Have we heard about this one yet, or had we just heard about Dig?
I only remember Dig.
It's a puzzle adventure mashup coming later this year, I think. Metal Slug Tactics.
We're never getting Shovel Knight 2.
No.
I don't know.
I got to think, but this isn't...
We'll get Hollow Knight. We'll get Silksong before Shovel Knight 2.
Well,
maybe.
Yeah. But this isn't Yacht Club making it. This is not like Shovel Knight Dig isn't Yacht Club either.
Right.
They're done with all the DLC.
When is day? Not that I even care, but I feel like we heard about that like a year and a half ago.
I think all they said was next year, but I don't know.
Like this year now?
22.
Oh,
2022.
2022.
Metal Slug Tactics was confirmed to be coming out in 2022. And Tetris Effect Connected is hitting Switch on October 8th. I need to get that game on PlayStation.
Yeah. It's Tetris.
I know, but it's like...
It's a cool... But, I mean...
But is it cool not in VR, I wonder?
That probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Tetris. At least in VR, it's VR Tetris. Otherwise, it's just Tetris with music.
I can play Tetris on that.
Exactly, yeah.
Sony has acquired Crunchyroll, which means nothing to me, but it's a huge deal to a lot of people, so that's cool. And they may be considering, it's been reported, a premium PS Plus tier that would include Crunchyroll. How about you just make PS Plus better?
Yeah.
And make more people want to subscribe. They did have a loss. It was revealed in their last quarterly thing. They lost like 1.3 million PS Plus subscribers for the first time in a while. But you got to think, so many people are buying PlayStation. They're in friggin' pandemic. We're all staying home and everything. Fine, I'll get PS Plus. I'll play on that, whatever. And now the world's starting to open back up, although it's probably going to be closing back down.
Yeah.
You know, that could be the reason, whatever. But that's still, Crunchyroll isn't what I want in PS Plus. I want PS Now. Like, this isn't that hard. Diablo Immortal will now be coming out the first half of 2022. I think it was supposed to come out this year. I'm pretty sure. So I don't know how there's a beta going on right now. There's an alpha. They're taking in a lot of feedback, and I think that's probably why they bumped it. But
do you care about the game?
No.
3
Diablo Immortal.
over.
I think I wrote that. Did I write that down? I don't know. Some Diablo game is now the first half of 2022. I think I was supposed to say Diablo 2 Resurrected or whatever. Because as I was reading it, I was like, wait, that's the mobile game, I think. But who cares?
Who cares?
And they're working on Diablo 4 too, I think. Whatever. As I was alluding to earlier, the PlayStation 4 has now creeped over 116 million units sold. I think it's pretty safe to say the Switch is going to blow that out of the water.
So what's ahead of PS4?
PS1 sold 100 million. The Wii...
2.
What?
PS2.
Yeah, Wii and PS2. I think that's it.
Really?
Home consoles.
Well, yeah. Wow.
You know what? Yeah, let me look at it right now.
Easy.
Oh, hi, Zelda Dungeon. Hi, Tempered Sword. Let's see here.
I'm too tired. Have you done the edit yet?
I'm dreading it.
Like Metroid.
Best-selling consoles.
Peek behind the sausage here.
Yep. All right, let's see. PlayStation 2, 155 million.
Ooh, yeah, it's not good.
Oh, no, PlayStation 4 has passed the Wii. I was wrong, 101 million. The PlayStation 1 sold 102 million. Now, if you count the DS family of consoles, they were 154 million. Game Boy and Game Boy Color, 118
now,
million.
is the DS family including the 3DS, or that's literally just the DS? Because those are two totally different things. If they lump those in together...
No, just
okay,
the
that
DS.
is just... Okay,
yeah.
just me.
3DS was around 40-something million, I think. 3DS family, 75
I feel like the
million.
DS... So, I know it's big in Japan, but like... It's not that good. I feel like all the... I mean, maybe I just missed out, but I love my 3DS. I feel like there's nothing on the DS I cared
Those
about.
Stupid touchscreen Zelda games. No, James, It's surprising that it's number 2. MLB The Show's never that high on the list. That's what I was saying.
So Switch will get to number 2. I mean, for
home consoles, but it's also
what do you
not a home
consider
console,
it?
right?
Yeah.
It's so weird because you got to think now. The 3DS is dead. They've always had a home and a portable. Now it's one, so both kinds of people are buying that one thing, especially with the Switch Lite. You know, it's.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put an asterisk by it because I love the Switch, but. Yeah, it'll end up number 2, at least when you consider home consoles for sure.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima Legends is getting a standalone release on PS4 and PS5 for $20. Deathloop has gone gold. That might be a game that you would like. I talked about that. We talked about that. Because how you liked Returnal, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued by it, but I'm not sold on it yet.
Yeah. Back 4 Blood has also gone gold, coming out October. Splunky 1 and Splunky 2 are coming to Switch on August 26th. Apparently, a new South Park RPG is in the works, but it doesn't confirm that the report doesn't confirm that Ubisoft is going to be doing it again. You interested in your fracturing butthole?
I hear those games are supposed to be fantastic, and I'm not a big
Thanks, John.
South Park fan. Like, I mean, I was back in the day when everybody was, but like, I don't know.
Yankees won.
I probably won't play it, just like I didn't play the other ones. But
Yeah. I mean, if it's in the works, it's years away.
yeah.
Cammy and Guile, and I guess Wonder Woman are coming to Fortnite.
Would
I don't get it. I just don't get it. Evil the Dead, the game. No. Evil Dead, the game, has been delayed to February 2022. But one good thing, part of that delay, they're adding a single-player mode instead of just multiplayer. That's how you do a delay. I like that. They're saying people are interested in this game. Let's give them more than what we were planning on. We'll delay it a little bit. That's how you do a delay. And the last item, this really only matters to me and Sean.
Have we really not
John
recorded
Bernardo.
this since this came out?
Nope.
Okay.
Last week, because I screenshot everything and then I go through the dates, make sure I didn't put in last week's thing. That's how I build a document. I screenshot tweets and then I fill this out and I look up articles that I need to look up and stuff. It's quite time consuming. Not really. Axel does not say ground upper. He says ground upper. When doing his special attack in Streets of Rage 2, 3, and 4. This comes from Yuzo Koshiro, who would know. He said it was a bad translation. He doesn't, and you can't tell because it's Sega voices, so you can't tell what the hell he's saying. But he does not say grand upper or bare knuckle, as I always thought it was. No, I went back and forth from bare knuckle to grand upper, but it's actually ground upper because you go on the ground and then you go, upper.
When he busted that out and actually said it, I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
Like, just blew my mind. I'm like, hearing this guy talk, and then he pulled. Oh, it was just so cool.
It was cool. Also, as a side note, Focus Home Interactive has been acquired. They have acquired Dotemu. I hope that does not slow down Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm still hoping that comes out this year. Bernardo says no way because I told him you got to come on with us and review. Whenever that comes out, you got to come.
Yeah, we'll have him on.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this episode of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, we'll have more details on episode 250 on the next episode, and it'll be on Twitter and everything as well. So we hope you'll tune in for that. I cannot believe we've been doing this that long, but it's awesome. Thank you to our patrons. Thank you, Nuke Dukem. I keep wanting to say Duke Nukem. I don't know how he got Nuke Dukem as a Twitter handle. I don't know how that wasn't Take 'em already. Take 'em already.
Take 'em.
Idiot. Taken already.
Nuke, take 'em.
Thank you all so much for being here. Till the next time, Sean. Go take us out.
Thank you for playing.
Grand Upper!